Welcome back, it's Rich here on my Fast and Fun YouTube channel, and this week taking a look at how I prevent my SL500 from losing charge when it's not used, and especially during the few months that I take it off the road in the winter through the use of a battery tenderer. And the SLs is really a high consumer of electricity to power all the multiple electrical and electronic systems on the vehicle, and it's a no problem that if you leave one of these cars for a week, certainly no more than 2 weeks, you're going to get that consumers offline message on the dash. Let me show you the different steps you need to do to prevent that happening, and also what these batteries do on your SL. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you both batteries. So the SL does have two batteries. Just open up the bonnet. So under the bonnet is the first battery. It's located just here. This is a normal standard car battery, and this is referred to as the starter battery. And it's referred to that because that's the only thing this battery does. It's there to start the engine and nothing else. So that's the starter battery. And then let me go into the boot where the second battery is. So just opening the boot. So in here, on the right hand side, under the floor, which I've removed the carpeted floor, you'll see on the right hand side this battery, and this is the consumer battery. So this is the battery that powers all of the vehicle systems, the car systems. The only thing this battery does not do is start the engine. That's purely the starter battery in the front does that functionality. So this does everything else. Now, when you get consumers offline, it is this battery voltage that's dropping, because this is the one that's drawing all the power. All the systems are drawing the power from this particular battery. So this is the one that is normally an AGM battery, which is a sort of a stop-start technology battery. So that's the two batteries in the SL. Now, you've got two options when it comes to storing any type of car to protect the battery and the car from draining the battery during long periods of without driving. But it's just worse than the SL500 purely because of the systems that are constantly draining on the batteries. You can remove a battery from the car, disconnect it, you can remove it, you can put it somewhere dry, stored, safe, etc. away, and that will protect the battery. Clearly, your power's lost from the car, so you've got all sorts of problems there with systems. And for the SL500, I wouldn't recommend that. If you disconnect the consumer battery, because you've got all sorts of warnings and systems that are just not going to function properly and correctly during during the stored period. So your second option is to connect a battery tenderer. So not a battery charger. A battery charger is a different thing. Battery charger will put a constant current there to charge a battery from a given state up to its full charge, when then it needs to be removed. A battery tenderer operates differently. That monitors and charges as is needed. Let me show you specifically the one that I use. So here's the CTEK MXS 5.0 that I use. These are, I think they're reasonably priced at about £65 for one. They do various functions. I think the long line of LEDs along the top, there's about 8 there. They go through several tests of the battery, right from doing I think it's a sulfate check or test to prevent sulfate build-up on your terminals through stage 1. Then it tests your batteries is okay before it charges it. Then it charges it. Then it tests that it can hold the charge. Then it tops it up. Then it monitors it, and then it gives it a pulse charge as and when it's needed. So there's a whole sequence of steps. Very clever technology from CTEK to do this. But for a user like you or I, it's simply you plug it on and you forget and you can leave it. And all I do is walk past, make sure it's in those top two, the number 7 or stage 7 or stage 8 in the green, and that's all I'm really bothered about. But other things that the CTEK does do It is compatible for AGM batteries, which do take a different charge, so that's very useful for a car like the SL500. It's also, if you do have motorbikes, it is compatible for motorbike batteries as well. And the other significant benefit, I think, of using the CTEK is that it compensates for different temperatures. So if you store your car over the winter months, then it will compensate for the varied temperatures that your car will be subject to in the garage. And as you can see, what I've done, the CTEK is connected directly to the terminals of the consumer battery. The wires are able to be threaded out through the boot, and then if I shut the boot carefully and then just tab down, the slow close feature, it's absolutely fine. I can see all the condition of the battery, and that's just plugged into a simple wall socket. The only other thing I do is, just so in a few months' time, when I get all excited about going back out with the SL500, you've noticed that the plastic positive terminal cover on the battery I put across the gear stick. And that is clearly just a reminder to myself that the CTEK trickle charger is connected to that consumer battery in the boot, just in case I get too excited and I drive off with that still connected. Top tip. And then the only other thing to say is that you've noticed I've connected my CTEK then to the boot. I put the plastic positive terminal cover over the gear stick to remind me, and I've done nothing to the starter battery. I hope you found the video useful. I hope you found it interesting. If you have, give me a thumbs up, please drop me a comment, and please subscribe, and stay tuned because there'll be another video coming up really soon.